All right, folks, we are live. All right, folks, we are live. All right, folks, we are live. Let's see if we can take care of that. Let's see if we can take care of that. Take care of that. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. Echo, echo. Echo. Okay. Echo. Okay. I'm glad this problem actually came back. I'm glad this problem actually came back. Need to fix it. I'm glad this problem actually came back. Need to fix it. Let's see who the culprit is. Let's see who the culprit is. Bear with me, y'all. I'm trying some new stuff, so bear with me, y'all. I'm trying some new stuff, so got a little bit of echo. Trying some new stuff, so got a little bit of echo. Trying some new stuff, so got a little bit of echo. Test, test. Test, test. Still echoing. Test. Still echoing. Test. Still echoing. Test, test. Hello, Connor. What's up? Yeah, just bear with me. I'm having some echo on my side. This actually happened to me on Friday. Been trying to recreate it, so I'm glad it's back. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Let's try this. Test, test, test. Nope. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Hey, Daniel, what's up? Yeah, I've been troubleshooting this since Friday. So I think my audience can hear me perfectly, but on my side locally, I got a loop. So this is kind of a. I wasn't hoping it was going to be a troubleshooting session, but looks like it's going to be on my side. So if y'all could bear with me, but I understand if you need to go. So let's chop this off. Test, test, test. Testing. Oh, I think I fixed it. Yes. Okay. Woohoo! I fixed it, y'all. I think it was Twitch. Okay, let me try it again. Test, test. Yes, I found it. It was Twitch. I've been trying to figure that out. Okay. I think we're good now. We have one more challenge here, though, actually. Connor and Daniel, just question, do you hear the background music? I'm actually doing music, but I don't see that going out. Preferences. Nope, not that. Okay. Appreciate it. Yeah, let me see if I can fix it on my side. Input. This should fix it here. Okay, I think I fixed it. Y'all should hear the background music now. If you can, let me know. Good. Perfect. Okay. Appreciate it, y'all. Like these are the early days here. I'm doing multiple streams, so there's a lot of dials and switches I got to switch here to get everything going like I want it, but I'm taking note of what needs to happen. Sweet. Voice. Appreciate your patience on this. Okay, so let me just confirm the settings. Output, amp. I'm literally taking screenshots of this on my end, so if I have these problems in the future, what's up? I really appreciate y'all's patience. Okay, virtual. This goes. Okay, and then that's short MV7. Boom, okay. Voice. Okay. Put it back on here. Well, that was fun. One other thing going here. Okay. All right, y'all. I think we're good. Cool. All right. So, welcome everybody to the live. This one's a little bit kind of a different style, aside from all the troubleshooting we just did. I'm going to try to eliminate that in the future. Now, I think I got my settings dialed in to do this multi stream. But normally, the lives I've been doing, I schedule an event ahead of time. And, it feels like this big formal thing and stuff. I'm going to start doing some what I call ad hoc lives. I haven't determined whether I'm going to do it on a certain cadence or whatnot. Just still experimenting with this. But a lot of the content I do along in this regard is kind of recorded and edit it and that type of stuff, and then I'll post it up. But I thought about, what if I do a live stream where I'm actually going through various content in real time and yeah, taking your questions and that type of stuff. And I might even figure out a way to where we can have these like live stream study sessions where I'm kind of going through content, or I might be going through a demo live. Obviously, when I do stuff live or do anything live, you all can get to see me troubleshooting and trying to figure things out in real time with labs and stuff, and that might even be more beneficial than just trying to go through a perfect case scenario. Bring my other panel up here. Sorry, y'all, I'm still trying to. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, this multi-streaming is a little bit more challenging than what I thought. But yeah, just kind of a live stream to where I pick certain topics. Okay. In this case, where it's a study session. Well, and we kind of go through the stuff together. But yeah, I thought for this one, why not try to pilot the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner? So yeah, this is an interactive session. So I'm looking at the comments, that type of stuff. So definitely feel free to kind of chime in. But yeah, definitely put in the chat if you've already started your cloud practitioner, if you're familiar with it, if you've already passed the test or whatnot. Let me know. But I'm just going to kind of go through some stuff here. I really want to just keep this conversational. So this is not where I'm just kind of blabbing away nonstop. We can kind of work and talk together on this type of stuff. Really want to try to work on us having a kind of a two-way dialogue, because I've spent a lot of time talking about talking about this stuff to a camera with nobody on the other end of it. And they say it's not good to talk to yourself, or even more importantly, to answer back. Okay, cool. So yes, a cloud practitioner is a foundational certification. It's the cloud certification that should definitely launch your cloud career. I get a lot of questions about, is cloud practitioner enough to get a job? In my opinion, no, it's not. If you have no other technical background to fall on, it's not enough. If you had a solid technical background that you had developed working in on-premises type environment and data centers, it would be very supplementary to that. But yet it doesn't really stand on its own as a technical cert. But at the same time, I wouldn't underestimate the fundamentals of cloud practitioner, because you're gonna be able to build on that for more involved AWS certifications. For example, one common path is to start with cloud practitioner and then transition into AWS Certified Solution Architect. So I'm just going to kind of go through some of the highlights here of the exam. Now, if I'm an organization looking at you from the surface, the cloud practitioner is going to help that business identify and develop talent with critical knowledge related to implementing cloud initiatives, and earning your certified cloud practitioner validates a certain level of cloud fluency. In terms of who should take this exam, certified cloud practitioner is intended for literally you can start from the ground up. You have very basic knowledge of AWS, including limited to no knowledge. Cloud practitioner is the place to start. In the exam guide here, it says 6 months of exposure to AWS Cloud, basic understanding of IT services and their use cases and their uses in AWS Cloud Platform, and really a knowledge of AWS services, use cases, billing, pricing, security, and how cloud impacts your business. Kind of specifically, what is the value? What's the value proposition for cloud? That is exactly right, Connor. Seems like Cloud Practitioner is a good bite-sized intro to AWS. Yes, indeed. To earn the certification, you just need to pass one test. There are 2 question formats on the exam: multiple choice, which is just select the best answer. Then you have the multiple response, which is everyone's favorite, where you have to pick, 2 or more right answers depending on what the question asks you to do. The exam is 90 minutes long and it is $100 US. There are 65 total questions, but I'll get more into detail about like which one of those questions are, well, important, because some of those questions aren't scored. So I'll tell you about that more when we go through the exam guide. So speaking of the exam guide, I'm going to jump into that here in a second. Before I do that, let me just check some of the other streams to see what's up with it. See if this stuff's working. Yep, looks like it is here. Let's check this one real quick. Cool. Yeah, I gotta get used to this multi-stream, y'all. Everything looks like it's going out though. Cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the exam guide. Boom. There we go. Yeah, so for everyone listening, like I say, if you have questions, definitely just jump right into the comments and let me know, and we can address those. All right, so let's dig right in. So, Cloud Practitioner is intended for individuals who can effectively demonstrate an overall knowledge of AWS Cloud, independent of your specific job role. So, the good news is you don't have to be technical to get the cert. Hello, Layla. How's it going? Great to see you here. Yeah, we're talking about Cloud Practitioner today, Layla. And also, this serves as a really good troubleshooting session for me because I'm running multiple streams here across 5 different social media platforms. And we had a technical glitch, which I was, you know, I'm glad it happened because I was able to get to the root of what was causing it. So I was happy about that. Oh, that's cool. Leil says she's listening to us live here from Starbucks. That's cool. Yeah, and also got a little ambient music going in the background. So hope you all like it. So yeah, Cloud Practitioner is really focused on explaining the value of AWS Cloud, understanding the AWS shared responsibility model. Shared responsibility model refers to like security, compliance, as well as even resilience. There's the line of what I call line of demarcation in terms of what your cloud vendors are responsible for. That's AWS, as well as you as the customer. Understanding security best practices. Understand those AWS cloud cost, economics, and billing practices. And being able to describe and position core AWS services, including compute, network, database, and storage. Those are infrastructure services. Those are like the bread and butter core concepts of AWS. So you really got to be familiar with those because everything else builds off the top of those. Target candidate again, 6 months of experience or less, a little bit of exposure to AWS cloud implementation. Candidates will demonstrate an understanding of well-designed AWS cloud solutions. Now let's really look at what is outside of the scope of the target candidate. It's not an exhaustive list, but a couple of highlights for what you don't have to do on this exam. You don't have to know how to code. You don't have to design a cloud architecture or exhibit that skill within the test. You're not troubleshooting any cloud problems. You don't have to know how to implement any of the cloud solutions. You're not focused on migration. You're not going to have to deal with load or performance testing. And you're not going to cover any business applications such as Chime, Amazon Workmail, and I'm not going to say the other one because if I do, it's going to set off all my Echo devices. But you can see it right here. Again, I was telling you about the two response types for the exam: multiple choice and multiple response. Now, this is an important thing here. There's 65 questions on the test. However, 15 of the questions are unscored, which is nice. The only trick is you don't know which 15 there are. So if you miss some, if they're unscored, they won't count against you. The exam results score range is from 100 to 1,000. Hopefully you don't get 100 on there. In this case, 100 is not good because the maximum score is 1,000. Minimum passing score is 700. So think about it. You need at least 700 points, which is not bad. And then 15 of those questions sprinkled within those 65 aren't even scored. So if you miss some of those, that does not count against you. So it's not that bad to pass it. I usually recommend folks take about a month to take a look at it and clear the exam. Let me just jump right into the fun stuff here. Domain. There's going to be 4 domains on the test you need to focus on. That's going to be cloud concepts, which is 26% of the exam. Domain 2 is security and compliance, which is 25% of the exam. And then domain 3 is 33% of the exam. Domain 4, billing and pricing, 16% for a total of 100% of the exam. Let me jump in here. Peter, welcome from our YouTube audience. No, Peter, you're actually in good company. I'm streaming across 5 social media platforms. So we have folks in here from other platforms as well. I'm glad to see some representation from the YouTube channel. Yeah, these are early days for the live streaming, so we're still trying to start it from the bottom. Then we got to get it up here. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome. Yeah, feel free to ask questions. This is an interactive session. Nice. Amani, hello, how's it going? Amani's also coming in from our YouTube channel. Sweet, good. I'm glad to see some YouTube folks in here now. YouTube folks, y'all got to represent, okay? Facebook's rolling deep in here. LinkedIn's in the house. YouTube, y'all got to get in here and wake up. And let me know what's up here in the live session. Okay, we have a question from Daniel from our Facebook Live. Would you recommend the certification for people who are looking to gain knowledge on AWS specifically, or those wanting to get into cloud in general? The community is really torn on this topic. Okay, so looking to gain knowledge on AWS specifically, or those wanting to get into cloud in general? I would say, even though AWS Cloud Practitioner is focused on the AWS purview of cloud, if you think about it, AWS started the cloud segment. So they led the effort and the initiative to define what the cloud even is. Then everyone else kind of followed suit. So I highly recommend starting with the AWS certifications first, because even though the principles in the certs, it sometimes may align to specific services, those architecture best practices and the well-architected framework are going to serve you very well, despite which cloud you choose to be in. Although I personally hope you choose to implement your workloads in AWS. Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand here. So yeah, I'm not gonna bore you all to pieces with going through all the details here, but yeah, for the cloud concepts, you're gonna need to focus on things like security, reliability, high availability, elasticity. These are bits and pieces that are pulled from the well-architected framework. From a cost standpoint, be familiar with pay-as-you-go pricing, scalability, global reach of the cloud, the economies of scale. These play well into what's called the value proposition, or as they're labeled here, benefits. Explain how AWS Cloud allows users to focus on business value, which is shifting technical resources to revenue generating activities as opposed to managing infrastructure. Another way to say this is the AWS services remove undifferentiated heavy lifting so that you can focus on more higher value, productive tasks like innovating on behalf of your customers. Identify aspects of AWS Cloud economics. Define items that would be a part of the total cost of ownership. Know the difference between operational expense and capital expenses. Understand labor costs associated with on-premises operations. Understanding the impact of licensing. Those types of things. Being able to right-size infrastructure. Know the benefits of automation. Have a good understanding of managed services such as relational database service, EKS, ECS, and DynamoDB. Have some architecture design principles in here. Again, you don't have to design anything, but just be familiar with the concepts of designing for failure, decoupling components versus kind of like monolithic architectures. Be familiar with that elasticity. Think in parallel, so doing things, at the same time as opposed to one after another in a serial type of fashion. Security and compliance, I would say one of the biggest things there is really the shared responsibility model. So, for example, AWS is responsible for the security of the cloud, and you're responsible for the security in the cloud, which really maps to your applications and services. This plays into cloud security and compliance. Be familiar with AWS Identity and Access Management. Know about how to rotate your access keys, multi-factor authentication, AWS Identity and Access Management. Being able to know how you get security support, third-party security products, native AWS services, Knowledge Center, the Security Center, security blogs. It's pretty much everything on the AWS website. Be familiar with AWS Trusted Advisor. Domain 3, technology. All types of fun stuff here. Being able to identify at a high level different ways of provisioning and operating in the AWS cloud. So you can interact with the APIs via programmatic access, SDKs, the management console, as well as infrastructure as code, for example, CloudFormation and Terraform. Be familiar with cloud deployment models, all in the cloud, which is called cloud native, hybrid cloud, and then on premises, which is in a data center. Identify those connectivity options to get into the cloud. Could be a VPN, virtual private network over the internet. Could be an AWS Direct Connect, which is a low latency private connection to get into AWS. High speed connection. And then just going over the good old public internet. Be really familiar with the AWS global infrastructure, regions, availability zones, edge locations. Know how to achieve high availability, whether you want to go multi-AZ, which is availability zone, or multi-region. When to consider multiple AWS regions. Typically, it's for disaster recovery, business continuity. If you have very low latency requirements and you need to get your workloads closer to your end users, multi-regions is one way you can do it. It's not the only way, though. You could also use CloudFront. Some of these core services I mentioned earlier, compute, storage, network, and database. Yeah, just know those backwards and forwards. And of course, you can go to the AWS website and download this guide. Just kind of going through this with you here together. Be familiar with AWS storage services like S3, Simple Storage Service, Elastic Block Store, S3 Glacier, Snowball. Be familiar with those and just kind of know, when it would be appropriate to use one over another. Be good to know. Networking services, VPCs, Virtual Private Cloud, security groups, which is basically software-defined firewalls for your AWS resources. Be familiar with Amazon Route 53. That's a DNS service, domain name service. Helps you resolve fully qualified domain names, which are basically website addresses, into IP addresses. Yeah, know the differences between kind of your options for databases. Installing databases on EC2 versus putting those on an AWS managed service like RDS, for example, relational database service. Cool. And then the last domain is just billing and pricing. So know the difference between on-demand pricing versus reserve pricing versus spot instances, and really get a good understanding of when you would use one over another. What else could I highlight here for you? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I don't want to go through all the bits and pieces here, but yeah, so let me switch back over here. Cool. So yeah, that's the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam guide, kind of in a nutshell. I'll kind of hang on here for a bit to see if there are any final questions before we sign off. But also today is kind of me also experimenting with some new formats, trying to go live. So things will improve over time. I'll have some more curated content, those types of things. But this is where we're starting out now. If you, I don't know if you are a content creator or if you've ever created content. Creating content is lots of work. It's a challenge. There's recorded content, which brings on its own challenges, and then there's trying to stream and go live, which takes it to another level. So I'm personally trying to challenge myself more to go live and actually get better at it. This takes practice, and the only way to get better is to actually do it. So a lot of people are kind of afraid to go live, but not me. I run towards the fear, so that's why I'm here. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed today's session. Looking forward to doing more lives and getting more creative with it. All right. Well, thank you everybody for your time and attention today. I really enjoyed live streaming here with you. I'm really enjoying this new format, and I look forward to seeing you in future lives. If you have any questions for me, you can just leave comments or message me on the various platforms, and I'll get back to you as time allows. Thank you, and I'll take care and see you later.